What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. Go! It's K.L.P. Aftermath Morning with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform. Go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. And you guys know what we are. This is the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Yeah, buddy. Thank y'all so much. Welcome. Let me get my mic right. There we go. Now we about right. Welcome. Welcome to the show, y'all. Today is a wonderful, and I do mean this, a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm going to try my best to not cough so much on this episode, even though last week's episode was pretty good. Feels good to be back here in the studio. You guys know the first 2 weeks of January. If you guys want to know where I've been, watch last week's podcast because I went into depth about me being sick and, being bed rest and trying to recover. Obviously, I feel tremendously better today. Still got just a small, just a little lingering cough. So we'll try to keep that at a minimum for sure, guys. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. We have a lot to talk about here on this episode. But before we do that, I know I got to get my housekeeping rules. I got to get my K.L.P. Entertainment news out the way, ladies and gentlemen. This Friday, yeah, buddy, we're going to be doing old school, keeping it old school. We're doing a DJ mix. Exclusive, and by the way, this podcast was presented to you guys by Mixcloud.com. All you have to do is go to Mixcloud.com or download the app. And what it is a outlet for us DJs to do our sets on the app for people to listen to, and we don't get copyrighted. We don't get taken down on the mainstream because Mixcloud is covering the licensing for our sets. So shout out to them. Shout out to them for sure. I love you guys over there at Mixcloud. By the time you're watching today's podcast, I had uploaded a new track. Yes, I'm starting to dabble more into tracks for sure, guys. So there's this new track on my account. Again, Mixcloud.com or the app. Type in DJ Kennedy Lucas. You guys get to follow us there. We have our sets on there, and then we have a new track, Never Want to Leave. That's Flo Milli, SZA, Cardi B, and featuring yours truly, DJ Kennedy Lucas. We did a little mix there. Shout out to them. So you guys can take a look at that. You guys can take a look, take a listen. Obviously, it's on my social medias of TikTok and Instagram and a little bit of Facebook. But then if you want to listen to it, you can go to Mixcloud as well. That is the future, y'all. That is the future of this thing. Very, very excited for that because I did get the new board here in the studio. I've received the DDJ FLX2. I know they have the FLX4, which I thought about it, but it was $300, and I'm like, okay, 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 and I'm like, okay. Testing 1 2. Okay, there we go. And now we back, guys. Sorry about that. This computer, the laptop has been used a lot this week with the mix track, and then we were editing stuff on this too on the go. So when it freezes out on me, then we just kind of got to get back. But what I was saying, hopefully it caught the when I was talking about Mixcloud because that's our sponsor. But like I was saying, the Browns, the latest episode of the Browns is available right now. It is on every social media platform. Like I say, the Browns is a show that we're doing about 3 to 7 minutes. I think we're keeping it at the 3-minute mark because we do analytics when we upload stuff. We look at how many minutes people listen to our content. And that's why if you ever notice, like prime time in the morning is about an hour, This show is about an hour, maybe shorter. The Browns is going to be about 3 minutes because people love our short term content more than they do our long term content. So very, very excited for that. The Browns is following the family, the Browns family, and they're navigating through everyday life by being a successful black family, and they're going through this thing called life. And it's a sitcom, so I'm very, very proud of our producers and my script writers and everybody that's a part of that project. Very, 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 very humbled for that. What else is going out? What else news is going out? Prime time in the morning. Shout out to Edith and Ruben. You guys, this one's for y'all. Yeah, we love it. So Edith and Ruben, prime time in the morning. That is the show that is obviously is here to stay, and it's a show that we get very, very excited for. If you guys missed yesterday's episode, I am featured on that episode as well. I am being part of that show too. As part of the show, it's just when I come on the mic and I talk about what's going on. It's just kind of like a short version of K.L.P. Aftermath. But it's Edith and Ruben's show. I'm just their A&R and their executive producer. It's their show. I don't want to take control of their show and what they got going on. Very, very blessed as well to have them a part of just this K.L.P. crazy family. So that's pretty good as well. And the last announcement that I'm gonna make here on the show, because I got to get to the topics of conversation. We got a new movie. And I say new movie, but you guys knew about this one. A lot of people, since watching the keynote, by the way, if you guys missed the keynote, I did like a small little keynote in our Wrap Up 2024 podcast. Go listen to that episode. So the movie that's getting ready to come out, you guys know about it, right? Trailers on the way. Syndicate. Shout out to the producers. Of course, I'm directing. Yes, Ava is back, guys. And I've said this on the keynote, but Syndicate is the third and maybe the final installment. Don't know yet, but it is the third installment to my Eden Prime story. Let me tell you, I am so excited about this project is because Eden Prime #1 came out in 2021. And of course, when it hit Tubi and big channels like Prime Video, I was so excited. By the way, you guys can still watch it on Tubi. You can still watch it on Prime Video, the first movie, Eden Prime. And then last year, we did Eden Prime Codename Atlas, available exclusively on Prime Video. Very, very humbled about that project. Again, that was part 2. And I am super excited because Syndicate, even though we changed the name a little bit, this is the third installment. I am so proud of everybody down to Christopher Gora-Jones, Christopher Gora-Smith and Nina Jones, and all of the voice actors that's been a part of this project, all 3 of them, and the animators, and then shout out to DaVinci Resolve. That's the software we use for that movie. Down to David Hayes, who composed music for us for years. I'm very excited for this one because it is the third installment. Ava Lockhart story sort of continues. Now, if you guys don't know, the story of this one takes place before Codename Atlas. So we all know what, and this is a tidbit, and kind of a spoiler because this movie's been out for a while. Ava dies in Codename Atlas, right? But this is a story before that. So we're kind of time traveling where she joins the Syndicate organization to navigate through her findings into intergalactic space. Very, very dope. I wanted to announce that because today, as of yesterday, of course we've been wrapped the movie, but we had to submit some paperwork for it. This is the part that gets a little tricky when you do movies. The distribution part gets a little tricky because it's a lot of paperwork and you have to really make sure your paperwork is filed correctly. I'm a sucker for this because when I submit movies to my distribution team, the paperwork's not quite correct and we have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to fix it. But it's finally fixed. Syndicate's on its way out to streaming networks. The trailer for Syndicate will be out very, very soon. And I wanted to announce that real quick before we get to the topics of conversation because that's the next movie that's next, right? We still have Street Style back in the A wrapped. We still working a little bit on it because there's something else we got to do budget wise. And if you guys know, we are an independent company, so trying to find budget from other projects to pull from this project and to put it in this project, it costs. So that's why Street Style back in the A is gonna be not delayed, but we're gonna just push it back just a little because there's a budget era that we need to do in our end, and it costs to for the type of budget that we need for something for Street Style back in the A, but it is coming. Um, very, very excited for that because you get movies at the beginning of the year. Um, and that's going to be kind of it for Street Style for a second. We're not going to be going to New York this year. We're not going to do it this year because we just got so much to do here in Atlanta this year, so we won't be able to. But there's another trailer, and I'll say this real quick, T, and we're going to get to the topic of conversation. But we do have a teaser trailer that's getting ready to come out for our announcement for our blockbuster movie. And last year, our big blockbuster movie was The Photographer. If you guys know, you know, go watch that. That is my first Pixar type animated movie exclusively for Prime Video. The Photographer was amazing. And it won't be a Pixar movie. It will, but it won't be the story of the photographer. The next photographer type movie will be next year, 2026. Maybe. This movie that I am writing right now, it is going to be the blockbuster of the year for K.L.P Entertainment and Kennedy Lucas Films. Stay tuned for the teaser trailer is coming later this month. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay. So let's get to it, guys. I got to get to the topics of conversation because you guys came on the podcast to take a listen to what we have to talk about here today. And this part of the show that I like to do. Now, you guys know I'm a big sports guy. I love football. I love basketball. There's just so much sports that I can't talk about solely just alone in this show, right? That's where I have Edith, and Ruben. They talk about NBA and sometimes football on prime time in the morning, and sometimes I kind of chime into that. This show, I think I'm going to dedicate it to just my wrestling phase. Now, if you guys don't know, and I said it last week, WWE is part of my childhood, right? And I promised to my viewers that each episode of the podcast we do, based on the Raw that's streaming on Netflix, which is great because I get to finally watch a wrestling show with the comforts of my own TV streaming, right? I know a lot of people have cable and they're able to see SmackDown and NXT on the CW network and then SmackDown on USA Network. I've said this last week and I'll say it again. I just don't, in my household, we don't have cable, we have streaming, right? Because it's cheaper and it's streaming, right? I'm part of that new generation where I love streaming more than I do cable. So you guys know about it. So wrestling is my childhood. Excuse me, is my childhood for sure. And I need to talk about Raw from Monday. And hopefully a lot of things are fresh on my mind. But Raw on Netflix, really, really good show. I think I will say that they're going to keep the show 2 hours and 30 minutes. Because I was doing the timekeeping T. That Raw that came on, it started at 8 and it ended around 10:32-ish, right? It was about 10:30 after the show. I brushed my teeth, got ready for bed, and I went to bed. Love it. Obviously, I love, again, the camera quality on the show was really good. There was no buffering. There was no stream outs for the event. They were at the SAP Center. Very, very cool to see. Pat McAfee, again, wows us with his commentary. I freaking love Pat McAfee. His commentating, not only in his show, but on WWE, is so hilarious. So funny. So let me give you guys the breakdown of what happened on Monday that surprised me. Obviously, you had Chad Gable that was getting ready for his surprise match. And I think I was clueless, guys, because I did not know who Chad Gable was going to go against. I had no idea. So there's this lucha libre called Penta that I guess he worked in TNA and then he did some outside wrestling and now he's finally signed with WWE. I might have been clueless, and maybe my dad, who's listening to the podcast, probably he knows Penta more than I do. I had no clue who this guy was. I liked his mask. I liked his entrance. Penta is now signed with WWE, and I think he'll have a good career because there's a lot of great things that happen within this that just it really works wonders. I really enjoy lucha libres who are able to articulate their moves, and it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like they don't know what they're doing because Penta knew what he was doing. Obviously, he's in WWE, so it's a little different, right? You got to sort of play into the story a little bit, but he performed really well. I mean, and I say that because I'm a Chad Gable guy too, right? He has the acolytes of Kurt Angle. I like Chad Gable, right? And the reason why I like Chad Gable is because he is buff, but he's like the short guy. And I don't want to compare myself to Chad Gable because obviously he's a superstar, right? But he works out, he's buff, and he's short. And I kind of feel that way about myself too, because yes, I work out myself and I'm short, right? So, and he does the suplexes really, really well. I wish I could do a suplex as good as Chad Gable. Excuse me. But Penta was his debut, and it was very emotional because his family was there. I can tell his wife and his daughters were there. I think his little girl was crying the most, so we all saw it. And it was very, very emotional because finally he's in the big leagues. Honestly, he's in the big leagues, right? There's nobody who, well, AEW is the close competition, but TNA, I think Impact Wrestling is still happening nowadays, but they can't compete with WWE, right? A lot of the sideline promotions, they can't compete with WWE. It's just different, right? But very, very excited for Penta. I think there was a lot of drama in the backstage because after his match, he did an interview, I want to say with Jackie Redmond, and he went over. He went over. He could tell he kind of went over by accident because his segment was a little too long, in my opinion. I don't know if it was planned, but I can tell that a lot of the other segments that were coming up on the show Monday night, they were sort of cut short because his role went over. I think it'll be okay because he's just now into WWE. This is freshly new for him in a different world. So maybe he has a lot to learn, but he's very, very experienced. I think he's going to be a pop. He's going to be a big face for WWE. It's going to be a big, big pop for him. There was a lot of oh shit moments for within the match. So very, very excited to see Penta again. Comment below, guys. And I got introduced to Penta on Monday night because I've seen it on Twitter or X or Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. Penta's been wrestling for a while. Rey Mysterio said, hey, this dude's been good for a while, for years. But this is my first time seeing Penta. So very, very excited for that. The next thing that happened, of course, Rhea Ripley comes to the ring and to celebrate her championship match. Of course, Bayley was there, but then Nia Jax interrupted. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax. I'm sure that she is a wonderful person, really, in real life, but I just don't think that she is as talented as what people make her to be. Right? Maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm just different when it comes down to superstars that wrestle and give us the move sets and the flips and the unique moves in wrestling. I just hated that they market Nia Jax this is solely my opinion, and there's no judgment on her size, right? There's no judgments because we don't woman shame. We don't body shame in women here on the podcast. But I'm not a big fan of let's market her to be this big woman that's a monster and sit on people, right? I don't mean that in a funny way, but it's just like I'm just not a fan of that marketing scheme. I'm a big fan of what moves can you produce? Can your moves make the audience say, "Holy crap"? And I just don't get that from Nia Jax. I'm sorry, I just don't. Um, But it feels good to see Rhea Ripley as champion, for sure. To see them come back to the light of things. I do like the women's division because obviously, we have a women's champion, we have a women's heavyweight champion, we've got a women's intercontinental champion. That was the next match that happened. It was Laura Valkyria versus Dakota Kai. Both superstars are amazing. There was this one move they did, which you can watch it now on Netflix, where I think it was Valkyria did like a not a suplex, but like a drop from the apron, and they landed on the ground on the floor, and it looked so painful. That's the kind of move set I like. That's the kind of wrestling I like because I was at home saying, "Oh shit, these women, they probably hurt themselves for real trying to perform that move." But very, very excited that Laura Valkyria wins the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Look, it is quite amazing to say the least that women in WWE finally get their mark. This is only the beginning. You got the women's tag team champion ish with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Obviously, Jade Cargill is still out because of her injury, but I cannot wait. Honestly, I think Bianca did it. I think Bianca attacked Jade. That's part of the story. I think Bianca, because she needs to be champion, right? Because we need, there's no race about it, T. We need more color as our champions, right? Tag team champions are good, but I want to see Bianca's next championship. Hell, I even want to see Jade Cargill become Intercontinental Champion one day. Hell, WrestleMania 41, I want to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. That's what we all want to see. Bump the tag team of them two going against these other tag teams. Bump that for WrestleMania. We don't want to see that. I want to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. That's what I want to see at WrestleMania 41. WWE, you got to make that happen. I want to see that. Because when Jade Cargill left AEW, she got this big pop. Now, I'll say this because Jade Cargill, that's my baby, right? I wish I was her husband because she is so fine. But I think she needs a little bit more practice because when she first debuted in WWE, her movesets were, okay, you're swole and you power, but what techniques are you doing? And I haven't seen techniques as much from Jade Cargill T, but maybe being injury, she's studying the craft, just craft it a little bit more, right? Again, we want to, as fans, I want to see holy shit moments in WWE. Now's the time. The iron is hot. The fire is rosing. We want to see a oh shit moment from WWE, especially my women's department. I think Bianca did it. Sorry, Bianca, because I love you too. I think you did it. I think you attacked Jade Cargill. And we're going to see that story play out for WrestleMania 41 because we're in January, right? And what, WrestleMania is in April, right? So it's going to happen. Very, very good to see for sure. We got Sheamus versus Luke Kaiser on Monday. Look, I'm a big fan of Sheamus. I'm glad that he is to the correct shape. I remember when he came back, he had a blubber belly. He had a beer belly. He had a blubber, right? Feels good to see Sheamus come back. Luke with Kaiser. Look, I'm a big fan of him being swole. I think he's just kind of one of those wrestlers and one of those superstars where he's just kind of the goof, right? I think he can perform good talents, but he's kind of the goof right now. Just kind of like, hey, beat me up because it's funny on TV. Excuse me. In my opinion, I just think he needs to be a little bit more seasoned too. But he's playing into the role. He's goofed, right? And Sheamus, I think Sheamus is too powerful to go against Ludwig Kaiser at this stature. Honestly, I want to see Sheamus versus Gunther, but of course, Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. That's huge. Braun Breaker, shout out to him. Big fan because they're also here from Atlanta. Braun Breaker, Intercontinental Champion. He is a beast. He's a beast in the ring. I want to see Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. Cut out Luke Kaiser. Who cares, right? Who cares about? I mean, not to say that like that, but who cares, right? I am jealous of Luke Kaiser because he's dating Tiffany Stratton, and I love Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, and she's women's champion, right? So I'm jealous of that. But good match. But I want to see Sheamus go against somebody else, right? Down to what happened, of course, I believe it was the main event. Of course, they did some segments with the New Day. Not a fan of the New Day now. I think I used to be a fan of the New Day when they were a team, but now it's just weird to see the New Day be a heel, to see Kofi be a heel, to see Xavier Woods, smiley ass Xavier Woods. Shout out to Xavier Woods because he's from Atlanta too. But to see him be a heel is just kind of funny, in my opinion. But maybe they working some angle with that. Didn't really care too much for their segment. Down to the main event is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Good match. I didn't like I didn't like the whole in WWE. You know I love you, right? This is why I'm their toughest critic, along with a lot of critics, because I just love WWE. I'm not really a big fan if you market a street fight and it's not really a street fight. Back in the day, and the kiddos that watch WWE, you guys don't know this, but back in the day, a street fight was bloody, a lot of weapons used, back alley. That was old school WWE street fight, right? Where you had the two superstars and back in the day, honestly, with a street fight, they never start in the ring. Back in the day, the street fight would start backstage. And if they got permits to the city, they go out to the city and fight. Of course, with film licensing and film permits, right? That's a whole play there. But back in the day, they used to have maybe like a street blocked off for the street fight. They have weapons, and they're fighting, right? I think WWE, when it comes down to their street fight, and maybe this is just me marketing. Hey, WWE, if you need a marketing guy or an idealist, or please hire me, because I would love to work for WWE. I really would. But if you're gonna do a street fight, I think you should do it in a back alley somewhere. Like, let's say they're doing a street fight here in Atlanta, and I'm shout out to Atlanta because they are coming. Raw is coming to Atlanta the 27th, right? Maybe have it to where if you can block off Ponce de Leon Street, I don't know if that's a street or not. Block that off and block just a street and say, hey, the WWE booked this for a film date. No one comes to this street because it's blocked for filming. Plant all these different type of weapons on that street, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. There's your street fight. That's the purpose of the street fight, because that's what they used to do back in the day. Now, not to say that this match on Raw this past Friday wasn't good, but they losing the focus of the street fight. They beating each other. Damian Priest and Finn Balor giving us a great show. Really, they were beating the snot out of each other. But then they went through the crowd. Okay, that's purpose of the street fight. Sometimes in street fights, to go through the crowd. Damian Priest goes for a move, slams both of them on the table on the outskirts near the audiences, and then the whole ambulance came, and Finn Balor was getting on the stretcher, and Damian Priest wobbled wobbled himself back into the ring. That's just so much time that they just wasted, in my opinion. No action. And I get they're trying to sell the story, but there's no action. And I was just like, okay, what else is going to happen? I'm getting kind of bored watching Adam Pearce and Carlito and officials and ambulance people go like, don't touch him. Don't touch him. We got to go. We got to do that. And then Damian Priest like, oh my God, my back. There's just so much time you wasted on that. And then Damian Priest goes in, does his move, and he wins, right? Again, okay match. Excuse me. Okay match, but I feel like they kind of lost the focus of the street fight match. Maybe they need to go back to old tradition of that, because that's the purpose of the extreme street style match. But hey, it's WWE, and of course it goes off after that. A good 2 hours. I want to say about 2.5 hours, from 8 to 10:30. Good show. Like I say, we look forward to it. We look forward to next week. There's my full review on Raw that happened this past Monday. If you guys like the segment, give us a thumbs up for sure. We got more to talk about. There was also a segment. There was also a CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Okay, but I'm tired of it. Right? I think CM Punk need to move on to something else. We're kind of tired of that limbo. They did that since WrestleMania. I'm tired of it now. It's time for CM Punk to go for a championship to focus on somebody else. Um, it's just my opinion, but that's just how I feel. Speaking of opinionated people, I want to talk real quick about this thing that's happening. Of course, it had something to do with TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. I love TikTok. So let me get a gobble of water. There we go. Had to cough it up, My mouth get a little dry, with speaking. But speaking of TikTok, there's been a lot of speculations about who's going to buy TikTok. First and foremost, I think I might have talked about it a little bit last week, guys. I am sad for TikTok because I love TikTok. I watch a lot of videos from TikTok. I think I said this last week, T, that a lot of people make money revenue for TikTok. So it's just kind of sad that TikTok is going through this thing of potentially getting banned. That date is coming up. That's supposed to be January 19th. There's been speculation that Elon Musk might buy it. There's been speculation that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank might buy it. And of course, Mr. Beast tweets out, okay, fine, I'll buy TikTok so it doesn't get banned. Honestly, I think any one of these three highly successful rich people can buy TikTok. I think if I was a billionaire, I would buy TikTok myself because, it is a great app where you can get your news. I think I said it last week. My mom does shop on TikTok Shop, so that's just kind of thing there. And there's a lot of money to be had in TikTok, right? A lot of speculations. I went through TikTok last night, and there was a lot of content creators who are posting a lot. A lot of content creators are posting their final content video because they don't know what TikTok is going to do, right? We don't know what TikTok is going to do. We don't know if it's going to be banned or not, right? I always say to a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, by the way, they focus their content because on my podcast and all my stuff, I focus content on TikTok as well. I necessarily don't post on TikTok to make money, right? I personally can't make, and I probably could if I'm dedicated more, but I wouldn't make a super living off of TikTok. Some people do. Some people make millions off of it. I get it. I wasn't one of those lucky people, right? But I think it is a sad dynamic for TikTok to get banned. A lot of people, and I said this last week, T, that a lot of people escape to TikTok for just an escape, right? It's a moment where we can escape from reality for a second, right? It's hard times we're going through, right? It's a lot of hard times that people are going through, and TikTok is their number one way to escape. And now that that's being gone, it is a sad, sad, sad dynamic. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what I'm sure, and I hope billionaires like Mr. Beast and Kevin O'Leary and Elon Musk. Okay, I'll buy it. Okay, I'll buy it. Are you just saying that for the media, or are you saying it that you're really gonna buy it? Right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes down to TikTok and its ban. Hopefully, it doesn't get too banned on January 19th. Now, we got a video. Let's see if it'll play for us. There we go. Speaking of craziness, so this is coming from World Star. Man gets caught in the middle of a shootout while returning home. The worst time to have your phone flashlight going off. I wanted to say that because I haven't experienced a shootout. Let me knock on wood here, because I pray that I never experience a shootout. But I do say to a lot of people, first and foremost, be very careful out there, y'all. The world is crazy. T. It's getting scary out here. Like when you thought the world wasn't getting worse, the world is getting worse. Right? I would lose my mind if I was in the middle of a shootout. But you best believe if I hear gunshots, I'm running. Now, obviously, I would hear, and back in the day, I would hear gunshots, right? I've been working in institutions where there's a potential threat, and I had to proceed in a lockdown procedure. Let me tell you, that is the one thing that I am trained in, especially in an institution where there's a potential threat, potential gunman on a certain campus, lockdown procedure. And it sucks because a lot of students, and this was in education, but a lot of students don't understand. They think that they can just walk out of here and be fine when I'm doing a lockdown procedure. A lot of students gave me lip and attitude about it and say, hey, we got a potential threat on campus. I got to lock down the building. You can't go anywhere. But why not? Because I say so. It's for your safety. I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to be rude. As an employee, it's for your safety. Please stay in the building. I'm sorry. I've been in those situations, but if I haven't been in institutions and I'm just out willy nilly in the free world and there's gunshots, you best believe I'm running, right? I went to the gym and I trained my legs first in cardio. You best believe I'm in the car and gone, right? If I'm in a different building working on something and I see something, hey, I'm hopping in the car, I'm gone. I'm caring about my own safety out here when it comes down to a shootout in the free world. Now, obviously, again, what I said, when you work in an institution, you have the obligation to protect the student at this case, education, protect the students. I get that part, but it is a sad dynamic to see that. It's weird. It's really weird that there's shootouts there, and there's shootouts every day, right? There are shootouts every day. It drives me nuts. It drives me bonkers that people would have a firearm, not for their protection, but to just start chaos. I've seen it on Facebook videos or Facebook Watch, rather, y'all, and I'm in the bed just watching my nightly Facebook Watch, and the amount of people who are willing to get in trouble having a firearm, doing a shootout because they might have a disagreement with somebody, right? And I think that's the dumbest thing. And to a certain extent, I think it's a lack of education, right? It doesn't matter what color you are. It's a lack of education because even just last night, I saw cops getting called because these women and men, they were fighting at a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. First of all, shout out to Chuck E. Cheese because that was my childhood back in the day. Like, I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I used to really love the Mario Kart game that they would have at Chuck E. Cheese. It was the Mario Kart and Pac-Man. And you see them now in arcades nowadays, but I first got introduced to that type of game. I think it's called Mario Kart GX or something. I first got introduced to that game at Chuck E. Cheese, and then obviously they put it in other arcades, right? Because I think they have it at a Dave and Buster's and they have it at Stars and Stripes too. I think Dave and Buster's, they have more of that. But these ladies and these gentlemen, they were fighting because of something stupid. I guess they didn't want one girl to be at the son's birthday party, and it led to an altercation and cussing out. And really, people are willing to get in trouble. And cops have been called, right? And the cops, I'll say this, some cops ain't all good, but there are some good cops in this world. I think these cops were playing good cop, right? They were trying to de-escalate the issue, right? They didn't want nobody to go to jail, but of course, people want to press charges on each other, right? And then these folks starting to get a little rah-rah, a little loud to one another. They start bickering. The cops like, hey, I'm going to detain all of you guys. All of you guys are going to jail if you guys don't be quiet, right? Because you're causing a disturbance at this point. If that was me in this predicament and the cops say, hey, we're trying to de-escalate, you have the opportunity to get in your car and drive away. I'm in the car and I'm driving away because obviously I don't want to be in this disagreement. I don't want to be handcuffed. Right? There's quite a few things that I'm scared of in this world. And I think I've said this plenty of times on the podcast, but I'll say it again. The one thing I am afraid of, quite a few things I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of any type of sexual transmitted diseases. I'm afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of failure. And I'm also afraid to go to jail or prison. Worst nightmares. Right? So if I'm at Chuck E. Cheese, and honestly, I'm at Chuck E. Cheese and I'm in an argument with another gentleman or lady, but we'll say gentleman, and the gentleman wants to have a fist fight with me, I'm like, bro, we too grown for this. Because I can fight, but I'm not a fighter. Have I been in fights and lost fights? Hell yes. You best. We played a game on my mom's birthday. We played with Never Have I Ever. And I guess the question was like, never have I ever been in a fight and lost. And I was like, damn. And my sister was like, you been in a fight and you lost? Like, yeah. I know how to fight, but I'm not a fighter. Right? That sucker shit to me. Like, if I'm in a disagreement, we can talk like men, or I'm just gonna go in my car and I'm gonna just go away because cops are gonna get called. And you best believe when cops get called and two gentlemen are fighting, who you think they're gonna arrest? Both of them. I don't like to be shackled up. So, to my point, it drives me nuts when I see fights that break out over silly shit. And that's what this was, this video at Chuck E. Cheese, these two ladies, they breaking off of some silly, silly shit. Long and behold, at the end of the video, these ladies got handcuffed and now they've got assault charges and now they're going to jail. All because of something silly. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. There's another video on Facebook where this lady, look, and I've dealt with customer service. Thank God I don't really dabble in customer service anymore. But when I deal with customer service, when I'm ordering something from somebody who works in customer service, I try not to give them a hard time because I used to be in their shoes. Now, thank God, I'm fortunate enough to where I don't have to work that type of job, but I've been in that shoes before. It was hard, right? I dealt with customers that I wanted to cut, and I did cuss some customers out, but I wanted to cuss more customer service or customers out because we don't get paid enough. I wanted to do that, but I never do. So I saw this video on Facebook to where it was a donut shop of all places. Don't know if it was Dunkin' Donuts. Donuts probably didn't cost no more than $2. Woman comes in there. They starts an argument, right? And now the person that was in the cashier argue back with the women, cussing the women out. Then the woman cuss. And I see why they did, because they don't get paid enough to deal with crazy people over some $2 donuts and $3 coffee, right? They don't get paid enough. But to the point of my example, the point that I'm making is people will start trouble out of nothing. And I played this video, and I think this is part of this video. This was a shootout probably because of nothing, right? It's crazy that, and I've seen this in real life, that dudes will fight over a girl, right? And not to say that my women ain't worth nothing, because obviously I love my women. I really do. But dudes literally fight over a girl that probably don't give them a whole lot in life. But these dudes are fighting and shooting each other all over a girl. Now you got a felony charge. Now you're going to jail, potentially prison, over a girl. Now, I'm different, y'all. I'm not going to fight over no girl. I've been in that predicament to where me and another dude had a heated, and this was when I was so young too, like, because I'm 28. Excuse me, I matured. I'm not going to, excuse me, I ain't going to fight over no girl. But when I was a kid, a young whippersnapper, a young teenager, me and this guy got into it, not a physical, but just a heated argument over a girl. And now that I look back at it now, it is so dumb because this girl, I know her, but I, ladies, I'm not trying to degrade y'all, I promise. But this girl ended up going with another dude, and now this girl has, want to say, 2 kids now, 2 or 3 kids now. So I'm like, whew, I dodged that bullet. But my point into the example is people fight over the most damnedest things. And it is crazy because people do fight over this stuff, and it is crazy. So my PSA to a lot of people out there, please don't fight over silly shit. Fighting is not worth it when cops get called and then you got handcuffs on your wrist because now you're disturbing the peace. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Your peace and serenity is most important. And I say this for just an altercation, but I say this to my gentlemen that fight over girls, and this is vice versa too, actually, because I've seen it to where women fight over a dude, right? He's my man. No, he my man. So they end up fighting and now assaulting each other over some guy who probably ain't worth shit. All because the dick was good. And now they're in shackles, they're in handcuffs, and now they're going going to jail because you're fighting over somebody. Not worth it. Your peace and serenity is not worth it, y'all. But people don't get it. People don't understand. People do not understand. Now, speaking of what we do can understand, I wanted to end it. I got 2 segments, but to have a question now, an open-ended question for everybody that's listening to the show here today. This is coming from World Star. They post this question, so I wanted to post it on the show here. What is the best burger spot that you've been to? Now, excuse me, I haven't had a hamburger in a minute because I am on this health kick thing to where I'm eating a lot of fruits and I'm eating a lot of chicken and salad. I'm trying to stay away from pork and steak and beef. I can't eat those things. I have eaten those things of pork, beef, and steak, but I'm trying to stay away from that stuff because I'm on this health thing. Salad, give me a salad, give me some chicken, give me some fruit. That's no soda. Now I'm actually not drinking any juice too. That's new. That's new in 2025 is the juice because I love buying juices, but I'm staying away from the juices. I'm staying away from soda. Obviously, I am trying to stay hydrated, so water all the way. But I have had a burger, and you guys know, and I think I said this in previous podcasts too. My type of burger that I like is I like texture. So when you cook me a hamburger, burn it. Not to the way it tastes like straight up charcoal, but like I like my burger well done. Not even well done. I like my burger, congratulations. Right? That's how I like my burger with some cheese, some onions, some lettuce, some ketchup. That's my style of burger, homemade burger. But when I do go out, the best burger spot that I've been to is, and it's kind of a vegan spot, but that's really the best burger I've been to, BurgerFi. Now, here in Atlanta, we got a few BurgerFis in the area. I've been to BurgerFi and I had their vegan burgers before. And I think, to me, that is the best burger spot because it's not as greasy because obviously it's vegan, so it's a little bit more healthier for you. And it's and you're gonna pay a premium, right? Because it's expensive. But I taste the premium style of a BurgerFi burger. They don't make their burger sloppy. They don't make it messy. They put some texture in it, and it's vegan, right? It's healthy for you. Not to say that I'm vegan because I am so not vegan, but I've tried it, and it's really, really scrumptious. That's the type of burger that I like to go for. I want to say it is open-ended question to a lot of people out there because some people might be different from me, but I prefer BurgerFi to be the best burger. A lot of people might say Five Guys. Look, Five Guys is just a greasy mess. Honestly, some people and Five Guys is expensive too. I would hate to work for Five Guys because those cooks, although they're amazing cooks, you probably come home smelling like burgers all day. I've seen the way that they cook those burgers at Five Guys, and some people like that greasy mess. I don't really like that greasy mess. I really don't. I think, and it's not to put down Five Guys, because can I eat at Five Guys? Yes. Would I prefer Five Guys? No. If there's a Five Guys and a Chick-fil-A next door, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. Right? It's greasy. It's a little unhealthy. Eating all that grease like that is really unhealthy for you. Um, I've seen burger spots that look like they can clog your artery. Some people eat that mess, but to see all of that shit in the burger, because let me tell you, so Five Guys does it too, but a lot of burger spots, they put not only the meat and bun, they put all that stuff in it. All that sauce and all of that triple decker layer of meat. That's a clogged artery. You probably shouldn't eat that. But to answer the question, the best burger spot that I've been to is BurgerFi. I've been to Five Guys. I've been to Burger King. Burger King is refrigerated, so that's why I don't think that's the best burger spot, because even though their burgers can be good, it's refrigerated. I used to eat a McDonald's hamburger when I was a kid. Obviously, when I eat McDonald's, it has to be kind of a late night snack. You best believe when I went to New York last year, I went to McDonald's once or twice because it's cheap food, but I try to stay away from those cheaper foods like Burger King and McDonald's, because obviously those things are not healthy for you too. They're good. They're just not as healthy as you think. So comment below what's your favorite burger spot. Those are just the burger spots that I've been to for sure. Now, I do have a topic of conversation real quick before we wrap the podcast. And if you guys been enjoying the show today, thank y'all. We love you guys premiering this on our LinkedIn, Facebook Watch, and all of our audio platforms you get your podcast from. But I talked about it on Primetime in the Morning yesterday. It's just kind of a quick example that I gave to the people. And I wanted to talk about it. So hopefully you find this next topic real quick. Very, very amusing for the podcast. I've never been so excited to go to the grocery store. Now, I told on Primetime in the Morning yesterday with Edith and Ruben, shout out to them wonderful podcast people. I love y'all. But we talked about, real brief, I talked about going to a new Kroger. So there's this new Kroger by my house that they just built, which is convenient for me because it's literally about a 5-minute drive, if not 5 minutes, maybe less than that. That's how close it was. And they just built this thing. And we were like, okay, dang. I talked to Monica like, hey, we getting a Kroger closer, because I like to go to Kroger. I go to Walmart. I've been to Publix. I've been to Ingles, believe it or not. If you guys don't know Ingles, if you know, you know. Ingles was the number one, but obviously Ingles is sort of kind of going out of business. So Kroger's the next thing. And I used to go to Piggly Wiggly. Now, the OGs only know about Piggly Wiggly, right? If you're an OG, you know about Piggly Wiggly. And the Chinese food spot next to it, the OGs know about that one. But I went to this one, the Kroger, and freshly new. They modernized it a little bit. The logo, because we all know Walmart changed their logo. Kroger changes their logo. The reason why I go to Kroger, real quick, is because Kroger groceries is not so expensive. Now, groceries is groceries. Groceries have increased significantly because of the economy lately. But Kroger is something special because you get fresh food. And then when you check out, your groceries go down because you have that Kroger Plus card. Now, honestly, this is something I wish Walmart and Publix had. This is why Kroger is still in business. They still winning in my book, is because of that Kroger Plus card, right? To where my groceries could be $90, but I might be spending $70 because I had points on my account. Now, fortunately, and this is not a flex because I don't like to really flex. Fortunately, I won't be able to take advantage of the gas because Kroger has the Shell gas. Shell and Kroger, they're partnered up, so you can use your Kroger Plus card to get a knockoff on your gas. I joke with my friends now and say, gas, what's that? The reason why is because I do have electric vehicle now, so I don't need to get gas anymore. My vehicle is solely electric, so I just charge it up. By the grace of God, I'm humbled enough to have a very nice vehicle of that stature by the grace of God. So again, it's not a flex, but I won't be able to use my Kroger Plus card for gas anymore because my car is electric. But you best believe I'm going to use my points for groceries. And I bring up that example, but my groceries for this week was $90. It went down to $77.24, significantly a game changer, right? That's why I go to Kroger. Walmart is a store, which it might be different because the Kroger I went to, I mean, there's a story behind the Kroger I went to. There's a story behind this. Walmart, I go to Walmart if I need to get some sort of technology that Kroger doesn't sell. That's the Walmart backup. Publix, I never go to Publix. I went to Publix, and thank God I feel better. I went to Publix for the pharmacy to get my medicine when I was sick. That's the only time I'm in Publix, right? Now, the Publix that I went by near the house, excuse me, modernized it. They got the shell in the same plaza area. I walked in there for the first time, looked huge on the outside. I'm like, okay, I've been to Kroger before, so I know what to expect. Boy, howdy. When I looked around in that building and said, holy crap. The inside, it had like a large warehouse feel, but it was a grocery store. And to my right was Starbucks. And I said, I'm just now recovering from sickness. Let me get some green tea. Went to Starbucks, got a $3 green tea. And I said, I went shopping. And typical, I'm going for my fruits, going for my groceries that I need. They had a lot of stuff stocked in there. It was large in there. It was a very, very large thing. I'm like, okay, this Kroger's kind of lit. It's clean. It's nice. It's new. You see a lot of new employees walking around, stocking stuff, just getting started. Very, very excited. I'm going through the aisle, and there is a gigantic cookware section. So I'm like, I do need some new pans for my kitchen. So let me go to the cookware. Now, Kroger does certain type of Krogers. They do have a cookware. The old school Krogers that's still around in the Atlanta area, they don't have cookware. But this one had a large cookware, a whole section of cookware. So I get excited. And let me tell y'all, this is the part where you're a grown up. Because nothing amazes me more than home appliances, cookware, cleaning stuff, rugs, right? My mom got me a very nice Shark vacuum cleaner. It's like one of the Shark iRobots to where my mom, shout out to you. My mom got me a vacuum cleaner. It's the Shark vacuum cleaner that mops. So what you do is, of course, you lay out the layout you need, and the Shark vacuums and mops your floor for you, right? We all seen those. Premium. She paid premium. Shout out to you, Mom. Love you. Air horns for you. When I got that for Christmas, because typically dudes want a new game system. Dudes want this type of technology, something for Christmas. When I received that vacuum cleaner, I got so excited. Because there's a machine that's going to vacuum and mop my floors in my house. I ain't got to manually do it. You're a grown up. You are a grown up when you love things like that. When I receive items like that for Christmas and I glisten and I shine like I was 5 years old in 2003. Hopefully I got that right. I think I was 5 in 2003. I glistened. So when I say you're a grown-up, because now I'm at the grocery store and I'm picking out pots and pans and some new spatulas, and I get so excited, y'all. I get so excited. And I don't know, because I'm 28, right? I'm still young, but I'm old, right? You old and you're a grown-up when you enjoy pots and pans and cleaning utensils as gifts. Obviously, this wasn't a gift. I paid for this. But I got very, very excited for that. And I'm like, this is lit. Okay, they got a little cookware. This is lit. So, excuse me, I go down, doing my grocery shopping. I got some new frying pans. And then I look to my right. This Kroger had a whole houseware. I'm saying plates, pottery, plants, artificial plants. They had rugs. Like, they had some paintings and some picture frames, as if I was at Home Goods, right? Because obviously Home Goods is my another favorite store. Again, this is why you're a grown up, because I love Home Goods, because quite a few pieces of art in my house came from Home Goods, right? I'm such an adult, I'm such a grown up, because I love Home Goods for their rugs and their plants and all of the trinkets that you can buy for your house. But they had this at this Kroger. So I felt like I just left Walmart with their cookware, and now I'm in Home Goods with their plants in this Kroger, because they had that section in this Kroger. I'm like, boy, howdy. Okay. I didn't buy any plants or any rugs because we got plenty of that in the house, but that was cool to see. So, and I keep going down. There's a frozen section. There's a cleaning section, which that's typical in the Kroger, right? They had a toy section. Now, obviously, I'm a grown adult. Like I mentioned, I didn't buy any toys, but they had a toy section, which was pretty lit. Went down that aisle to see what kind of toys they had. Obviously, again, I'm too grown, but I did see. And went down that aisle, and then they had the supplements, the vitamins, the personal care stuff. That's typical. It was a large section, but it was typical. And then I saw the pharmacy on the far end there. That's typical for Kroger to have a pharmacy there. But I say all that to say I've never been so excited to go to the grocery store. Shout out to Kroger, because Kroger has something. Kroger has all of this stuff in this new Kroger. I feel like that's going to be the future of Kroger. I think as they built newer Krogers around in the Atlanta area, they're going to mimic the one that I've been to in my neck of the woods of where I live, because that Kroger was amazing. That's like the only Kroger that I'm going to from now on, because I've been to a lot of Krogers before. Not as good as that one. You can't compare. But I think Kroger is in great competition with Walmart and Publix. I'm a fight for Kroger, because you can get stuff for a little bit cheaper, and let me tell you, that Kroger Plus card, you can't beat that. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, right? I've been into where, hey, I'm spending $90 and I get like $87 spent. It's not, I mean, you save what, $3? So sure. But the session that I went in, it was 90 and it went down to 70 something dollars. So that's a deal. That's what, damn near $20 off your grocery fund for the week. So to me, that's pretty good. So shout out to Kroger. And that's really good, spending $70, because I've seen families, I've seen my ladies, y'all know who y'all are, shopping for your family. There's this cute girl, again, there's always a cute girl story there was a cute girl. She had 2 kids with her, and, her groceries were, $300. And I don't know what that's like. I don't. I think Kroger, though, before we wrap, Kroger, you guys got to fix your sensor. Every time, when I went there the first time, the sensor was off, and it made it's like I didn't scan items. Obviously, my life is too short to be stealing. I do say to a lot of people, please don't steal. Again, this goes back to the other topic. People do the damnedest things to get in trouble. Stealing's not one of it. I will not steal anything. So the sensor kept thinking that I was stealing items. And the lady, she came over. She's like, I believe you're not stealing. She was like, I believe you're not taking away with this stuff. The sensor's off. Like, yeah, I got to fix that, because I'm just trying to pay for this stuff and leave, because I got other things to do. Right. But shout out to Kroger. We love y'all. Stay hydrated, y'all. Especially to my podcasters. When you talk a lot, your throat gets a little dry. So that's going to wrap it up here on the podcast here today. Hump Day, Wednesday. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying and having a great week and enjoying the content from K.L.P Entertainment. We love y'all so very much. Stay tuned. Of course, we got more in podcasting this week, and our newest movie for the year, starting off the year of 2025, Syndicate, film trailer will be out very soon. Stay tuned for that as well. And we're going to announce it again on the next episode. But this Friday, kicking it old school, DJ Kennedy Lucas, that is moi. I will be doing a set on Friday. It's going to be uploaded to Mixcloud. Again, you can only listen to the full set on Mixcloud, guys. So you got to go to mixcloud.com or download the app, type in DJ Kennedy Lucas for your chance to listen to that. And then check out our new track, of course, Never Want to Leave, featuring me, DJ Kennedy Lucas, SZA, Flo Milli, and Cardi B. So that is a good track that we put together only on mixcloud.com or via the app. So guys, take a listen for sure as well. Shout out to everybody that's tuned into the podcast. We thank y'all so very much. We'll catch y'all in the next episode of K.L.P. Aftermath, presented by K.L.P. Networks. Until then, guys, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Love y'all. Stay safe. Stay swanky. Peace.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. Go! It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.